Wake up, wake up. Gotta still these coffee beans, y'all. You know they playing around, but we're gonna get right into it, okay? Part two. Let's go. They're targeting our gut through with parasites. Let's go.
Describe that these taste receptors have been previously expressed in Pt.2 cells. Understanding anti-life reversals helps to comprehend the larger purpose for making humans unconsciously eat their own species through the DNA of human children and embryos. This is purposed through the Na and satanic-based agenda to corrupt human DNA and to keep the worldwide child blood sacrifice, child sexual abuse, pedophilia, and SRA networks thriving on the earth. It is important to know that this is put into mass-produced fast foods, such as soft drinks and potato chips without direct labeling. This ingredient is also put into many vaccines, so clearly the agenda is to get this into the bloodstream of the masses. Naturally, mainstream media normalizes this as if it is no big deal to be consuming cloned human kidney cells in our food and drink. How do you...
They're putting parasites in your food and in them dang on, okay, that they're trying to put into our system. Pandemic. What do y'all think they had in those things? Come on, y'all. Let's get it. They are trying to take control of our what did he say? Illuminati. They want my mind, soul, and my body. Shout out to Prodigy. May he rest in peace. He was trying to warn us, y'all. He was trying to warn us. This is what was coming, and he said it. He said it. And he also said Jay-Z was the snake. Okay, he's the one who turned on Dr. York and all that good stuff. But that's another subject for another day. Let's go. Hey.
Think this affects human kidneys? This is another example of genetic modification, emphasizing both cannibalism and child blood sacrifice as components to promote the death culture consumer satanic-based materialism.
Listen.
Technology that is targeted to mind control the masses also has specific sweeps to directly attack the solar plexus area, which has many purposes. This weakens organs and glands that need solar plexus nourishment, attacks the second brain wiring in the gut, which replaces empathic feelings with pain, generating biofilms in the body. Biofilms impulse parasitic signaling that can take over the bioneurological functions in the body and operate as small parasite communication centers inside the body cavities.
Listen.
Biofilms attach to mucous membranes, intestinal walls, genitals, urinary system, and even in the mouth and gums. They form pockets of tissue that protect the parasite growth, toxic and metabolic waste products, as well as heavy metals that are also used to attract more parasites into the body. If the average person has extensive biofilm, gut and intestinal problems, mind control and parasitic invasion, we can see how the ability to extract life force energy is made much easier by compromising the body's integrity.
Listen.
Biofilms can actually be electronically controlled to perform gene editing or genetic modification in the human host.
The biofilms are also electromagnetically controlled. Okay? Nanobots, Neuralink. It's all connected, y'all. It's all connected. Listen.
What is biofilm? A biofilm is any group of microorganisms in which cells stick to each other and often also to a surface, generating slimy, stringy tissues in which these microorganisms live and reproduce.
Listen.
Think of a clump or tissue, similar to a webbing of tissue holding a pocket of toxic infection within it, which is living inside a cavity or mucous membrane within your body. These adherent cells are frequently embedded within a self-produced matrix of extracellular substance, which may also be referred to as slime, although not everything described as slime is a biofilm. Biofilm is a molecular substance conglomeration generally composed of extracellular DNA, proteins, and polysaccharides, sugar molecules. Biofilms can contain many different types of microorganism, bacteria, archaea, protozoa, fungi, and algae, where each group performs specialized metabolic functions. However, some organisms will form single-species films under certain conditions. When the body is afflicted by recurring infections and wounds that are hard to heal, it is highly possible there are toxic biofilms in the gut and intestines that are re-injecting the weakened areas with the toxic waste of the parasitic life cycle, or there are
Listen, when the body is hard to heal, okay, when the illness is hard to cure, okay, this is definitely your problem. You need to do a cleansing, okay? You need to pray. You need to fast. You understand me? You have to kill the parasites that are inside your body, y'all. I'm learning as I go along, y'all. I'm telling you, like this stuff is, whoo. But I remember back in the day, my grandfather used to do a cleansing. He used to make us get rid of the worms when we were younger. Like now I understand. Oh my goodness! Like I thank God for me being able to meet my grandparents and my great grandparents because it really taught me a lot. When they say that they passed on those traditions from family to family, from children to children, that's definitely true, y'all. They passed on so much knowledge to me as far as like natural healings and things like that. It's amazing. It's amazing how I never thought that I would ever have to use those things, but I'm kind of like incorporating these things in my life today. Let's go.
Organism infections living in the tissues. All kinds of parasites seek refuge in the body in a well-built toxic biofilm. Essentially, biofilms are microscopic bugs, which are found everywhere inside and outside the body, that create biological homes in their human host using a mixture of sugars and proteins. For example, biofilm in the mouth is dental plaque, the sturdy protection that toxic biofilms provides from actually eliminating pathogenic microorganisms is one reason why some infections are so difficult to resolve. Yeasts, parasites, and bacteria find shelter in the toxic biofilm matrix, evading an onslaught of even the strongest of medications. Unhealthy biofilms in the gut. Prevent the full absorption of nutrients across the intestinal wall. Protect the disease-causing microorganisms from the immune system. Protects disease-causing microorganisms from antibiotics and antifungals. This means both herbal and pharmaceutical grade. Promotes inflammation and hyperimmune diseases in the body. Houses toxins like heavy metals. Unhealthy gut biofilm is a refuge for many pathogenic or disease-causing microorganisms. This means yeasts like Candida, as well as the varieties of bacteria that are related to digestive and elimination issues. Unhealthy biofilms accelerate aging and promote diseases such as parasites, systemic candida and fungal overgrowth, heartburn or GERD, gastroesophageal reflux, chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia, which are often thought to have an infectious root, small intestine bacterial overgrowth, SIBO, which includes symptoms like heartburn, bloating, gas, abdominal cramping, brain fog, arthritis, acne, and other skin conditions, irritable bowel syndrome, ulcerative colitis, and Crohn's disease. Unhealthy biofilm allows some infections to persist for years. This means that the body may become more susceptible to other infections or co-infections, as well as other chronic degenerative diseases. Attracts an array of...
I remember back in the day, they used to always say that the freaking worms or whatever, for arthritis, the worms was eaten at the joints. I remember that. So that was one reason why my grandfather used to do those cleansings and literally flush those worms out of our body. I remember that as a child. Oh my goodness. Okay. Wow. Arthritis is caused by parasites, y'all. The parasites are eating at your joints. They consider them to be bugs. Okay? Little worms, little. Whew. Let's go.
Energy parasites in demonic homes that set up attachments in the aura. To clear out unhealthy gut biofilm requires some research and special care to determine the most harmonious method for detoxification and restoring balance to your gut. Consuming only high-quality, nutrient-dense, and organic foods is possible. Eliminating sugar, alcohol, drugs, processed and commercial foods is an important part of the purification process. Also, proteolytic enzymes can help to break apart the structure of unhealthy gut biofilm when taken on an empty stomach. There are anti-parasitic and antimicrobial herbs that are effective because they naturally bust through and degrade biofilm. In most cases, the most effective way to eliminate toxic biofilms and the parasites they harbor, as well as entity attachments, can be greatly assisted through applying oral cleansing at the same time using natural therapeutic-based enemas. Prayer and meditation should also be integrated into any detoxification and healing process.
That's right.
All energy workers may notice how much more content that is processed when you eliminate, realizing that the waste content is not all coming from what you are consuming. Many of us naturally process obsolete or negative energy, which is eliminated through the bowel, and this is the reality for many grid workers. This is also why this is a good time to cleanse our liver and bowel, as well as remove biofilms, as this supports the release of ancestral programming in the physical body. As well, it keeps us clearer from the effects of mass technological mind control from impacting our conscious mind and breaking down energy receivers in the gut.
It eliminates ancestral programming.